Welcome to St John's for our weekly update. We're very much looking forward to the launch of the Stitches in Time book tomorrow night. Please do come if you are able. The book features the cushions of this cathedral and honours the people who contributed to that significant project. The cathedral cushions are one of our great treasures. The book has been selling like hotcakes over the last few days. The production values are absolutely stunning, and at $30 a copy it is amazingly good value. There will be copies on sale tomorrow night, and there are copies on sale in the cathedral shop at all times. There's a lot happening in the life of the cathedral this weekend. Saturday we have an event hosted by our Mothers Union branch, part of a worldwide day against gender-based violence. We're going to gather here at 1 o'clock on Saturday and hold a vigil, a short time of prayer and silence in solidarity with those who are suffering domestic abuse. Particularly those who have lost their lives. It's one of the great scourges of our time and our culture. And of course, here at the cathedral, we're seeking to look under the surface at that issue and look at the way that our theology can contribute to that scourge. Sunday sees us begin the season of Advent, and so we have some fantastic worship happening. The Advent wreath comes out and we begin each of the Eucharists with the lighting of Advent candles and reflecting on the great themes of Advent, hope, love, joy and peace. The first Sunday is hope, and hope is one of the great gifts that the Christian community can give to the wider culture. In the afternoon, Bishop Bill will be leading us in an introduction to Luke, because Advent Sunday is the beginning of the church year for us, and each of the church years is associated with one of the Gospels, Matthew, Mark and Luke. This year we enter the third year of that cycle, and Luke will be the Gospel of focus for the next 12 months. So Bishop Bill will be giving us an overview, an introduction to the Gospel, so that we can have a sense of the overarching context of the year that opens before us. And then at 7 o'clock in the evening we have the Advent procession. Please note the time. Each of the Sunday evenings in Advent we start the service at 7 p.m. instead of 6. And that's to highlight the fact that Advent is about darkness giving way to light. And so we like to start in the dark. The Advent procession is one of the liturgical highlights of the year, so please find yourself here. Sunday is also the day we hold the first part of our annual meeting, and that will be held after the 9:30 service. And at that meeting we elect our representatives for the coming year. The people elected on Sunday will take office on the 1st of January. Another feature of Advent is the Advent Giving Tree. The Advent Giving Tree is now in the West End. It's a bare Christmas tree. It will be decorated by the children when they come to the children's service on Christmas Eve. The Advent Giving Tree is placed out at the beginning of Advent each year, and under that tree we place gifts that can go to places like the Romero Centre and to the Trinity Pantry. So we put it out now so that the gifts can be gathered early, so that those places can distribute the gifts before Christmas. So if you're able to, please contribute something to go under the tree. Lots of food would be lovely. On Tuesday just gone, we hosted the launch of the second of the Diocesan Reconciliation Action Plans. The event was a very powerful event, giving testimony to the importance of reconciliation, highlighting some of the ways in which the Cathedral and its community have contributed to that process, and also acting as a challenge for us to embrace the need to be active makers of reconciliation. Like peace, reconciliation has to be made. It can't happen simply by people giving up being racist, for example. So one of the challenges before us as a community will be how we embrace the need to be reconcilers. There's certainly much in the past of our nation that needs to be faced squarely, and honest storytelling and truth-telling is part of that process. And so one of the things that we might be looking at doing in the year ahead of us is listening to the story of the process of colonisation that happened here around this site. How did that play out? One of the challenges that comes to us from the Uluru Statement is that each community should involve itself in a process that's called Makarrata. And Makarrata is the process of hearing the story of what happened in your place, not just the general story, but what was the particular unfolding of encounter here. I'm glad to say that the launch was captured on our YouTube channel, so if you'd like to catch up on that and see how powerful the process of launching that Reconciliation Action Plan was, and the powerful speeches given by many First Nations people in support of the plan, please follow the links that you can see on your screen. In just over a week, the next in our art and craft stalls will be hosted. The raffle is already running. Leslie has produced the most exquisite quilt. It's her St John's lockdown quilt. She created one of the little elements of the quilt each day during the lockdown. So it's a very physical way of reminding us how long the lockdown was. We were quite lucky here in Queensland in that the lockdown was relatively short, but it still took its toll on many of us. And so there's this wonderful quilt on offer for the raffle. So please do buy tickets and support the stall when it happens next week. But tickets will be available this week after each of the 7:30 and 9:30 services. And finally, a word about vaccinations. It looks as though that when the borders do open up in the middle of December, that there will be significant changes to the health directives. Those changes to the health directives could very significantly impact on the lives of unvaccinated people, restricting their access to places like churches. We're very keen to allow as many people to come to the Cathedral as possible, and it looks like that will possibly mean that we will be restricting access to the Cathedral to people who are vaccinated. So if you are not vaccinated yet, please do think about doing so. Please consult with your medical professional and get good advice about the advantages of being vaccinated. There are plenty of choices in terms of the vaccines available, so do talk to your health professional and get that advice and find the vaccine that's right for you. Being vaccinated is, as we can see from experience across the world, is one of the ways in which the pandemic will be brought under control. Those places with lower incidences of vaccination are going through a fourth wave, as we can see in Europe. And so we do want to avoid that in Queensland, and one of the ways we will do that, one of the ways we will care for each other, is to be vaccinated. So please do think about that deeply and do consult with your medical professional. And so to the birthday celebrations for this week, we say happy birthday to Johan, our organ scholar, and to Francis, who works in the cathedral reception on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday. Happy birthday to you both. It's amazing to think that we are on the threshold of another Advent. Advent, I find, is a very powerful season, and I love the way that the church liturgy of the season invites us to slow down, at least for the time that we are in the midst of the liturgies. There's a lot of craziness happens about this time of year as everyone and everything holds its end of year event, but at least the liturgy of the church invites us to enter into a time of expectancy and of hope. Peace be with you.